Yo, what's up guys? Your boy DJ Kid of 100 Round Drums. And we are back with our very first video of the new year. So happy new year. No, we're late going into the new year, but we've been real busy lately. We've been in the process of moving. So that studio y'all been seeing in the vlogs and all the other previous videos, we're no longer in that place anymore. So we got a lot in store for this year and definitely the upcoming year. So yeah, we're gonna start it off small and simple. I'm gonna show y'all like tips on how to give your drums bounce, especially for this day and age. You know, a lot of the new artists coming up, you know, they like a certain type of beats. So yeah, before we get into it, like always, make sure y'all leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Before I start anything, I'm gonna just play it for you real quick. So yeah, so that's the beat, real hard, got a nice bounce to it. Yeah, so starting off, we're gonna start with this clap that I have for you. It's not a regular Luger clap. One thing I will advise is branch out on your sounds. A lot of people love to use the same go-to sounds, you know, like the Luger clap, you know, the Spins 808. Well, this one I'm using the Spins 808, but you get what I'm saying, you know. Try to branch out on your sounds, you know, see what other sounds you have that you may like that may stick out in a certain beat, because you can't use the same sound in all your beats. So yeah, definitely branch out in your sounds for your new beats. So this is a simple 2/4 pattern for this clap, and I'll just play it for you. So yeah, like this clap has a lot of high end to it. So yeah, I decided to use this one. See, I turned the velocity all the way up. And this beat is mixed, so yeah, just a simple 2/4 pattern. And also I will say, for specific beats like this beat I have right here, I did layer it, so I have another clap as well. Same thing, 2/4, simple 2/4 pattern. Now with this one, it's more short. Still a lot of high end on it, but you hear it's not as long as the first clap I showed you. But when they're put together, they sound, you know, whole and, you know, complete, especially with the beat, the whole beat playing. All right, the next one is this Luger snare. I will say a lot of people are bringing this snare back, which I'm actually glad. I used to love this snare, but simple 2/4 pattern going for the snare. And then we're all on together. Here all together, it sounds more full. So I would definitely say, definitely layer your claps and snares. And normally what I do, like this section right here is the chorus part, but like normally on certain beats, or most of my beats actually, I'll take out the snare in the first half of the chorus and then bring it in on the second half of the chorus. But for this one, I just felt it was right to, you know, put the snare in on both ends. But I'll break it down with the accent snare that's coming up, how I have it coming in on the second half of the chorus. So yeah, all right. Accent snare, nothing major to it. You know, you want to keep your beat simple, because, or you want to keep certain parts of your beat simple, because you want certain parts of your beat to stand out. You want certain parts of your drums to stand out, then you want certain drums to be simple. So it's a simple accent snare. Play it. Now play it with the rest of it. Boom, boom. You know, nothing too major, not going all out, not going crazy. And that's because the hi-hat and 808, which I'll get to later, is you know, like the most complex part of the beat. So everything else I kept simple. So yeah, simplicity is key, guys. Remember that. You know, you don't ever want to try to overdo your beats. That's something I've been learning lately, that I think every producer should learn lately too, especially for the industry, because, you know, you want to leave room for the artist to actually rap. You don't want, you know, to overdo it and then, you know, they don't have space to actually, you know, rap. So yeah, simple is key. All right, and then I have this other accent snare, same thing as the first accent snare I played, but it comes in later. So I'm gonna go ahead and play all of the clap and snare and then add this accent snare with it, so you can know when it comes in. So that's the first accent snare, and then there's the second accent snare. So it's the same as the the first one. It just comes in at a different time, and it's a different snare as well. All right, then I have this last accent snare, which comes in at the end of every phrase. It's a thick snare. A lot of people use it to complement like their claps, but I wanted to use it as an accent snare for this one. Here it is. It's a deep snare. Yeah, so got that. All right, going into the open hi-hats. The open hi-hats, it will make sense once I play it with the 808 because it complements the 808. So yeah, open hi-hat complements the snare, or I'm sorry, the 808. So got that part. All right. So like I said, you want to have certain parts in the first half of the chorus, and then you have certain parts on the second half of the chorus. So like the second half of the chorus, I added another open hi-hat, and it's just a simple ongoing open hi-hat. Just continuing on. Also with this open hi-hat, I'm sure a lot of people use this open hi-hat a lot. I'm going to show you. I like to have this box going right here. That way, the note can cut off, whenever you want it to cut off. So, because most of the time, this open hi-hat drags out a lot. So, normally for that open hi-hat, I like to cut it to where I can control it myself. All right, now, like I said, you always want to have, certain parts in the beat that's sort of complex or sort of stands out. And for this beat, I have the hi-hat and the 808 stand out. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the hi-hat. So real nice hi-hat. Sounds great with the rest of the beat. So yeah, I'm gonna break it down bit by bit. All right, so of course you got the C5 notes. A thing I like to do lately is I like to have like pauses in the hi-hat. That way it give it more bounce. It's something more creative. But like for this beat, the pauses that are on the C5, I actually bring down, to a lower note, like on the G4 right here. I have a hi-hat roll, kind of like sort of what Southside or ATL Jacob would do, that type of thing. And then you see I have the velocity going down with that, and you right click in the velocity, and do it like that. So yeah, so you got you want it to roll on that part where it paused. And then I have this lower note, so like these bass notes, I guess you would call it, these bass hi-hat notes. It's something continuous too. It's repetitive because, it definitely gives the beat more bounce. But like with these notes, you don't want it to be as loud as the other notes. So like for these bass notes right here, where it's highlighted red, you see I don't have them as the same velocity as the C5 notes. So yeah, so for those bass notes, boom, 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 turn it down, boom, boom. So yeah, that type of thing. Then of course on this second half right here, I have another hi-hat roll where the pause is right here on the C5. And then for that one, you see the velocity is not going down staircase like it is on the first one. So just a little switch up for that one. Then this second half right here, see I have the open hi-hat roll going right in right here. As soon as it drops on the beat one. Now you see that part switch up from the first part. This one isn't like the very first one, but you see I have the hi-hat roll right here, the same right here, except I brought it up a note and I put it in a different position. So you want it to be repetitive but not too repetitive. If you have like the same patterns, put them in different spots. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but it could be the same but put them in different spots, kind of like how I did with the action snare. So yeah, just like that. And then this part right here, have a little simple two hi-hat roll right here. Now for the second half, it's literally just like this half right here is literally the exact same as the second half right here. So these two halves are literally the same. Like I said, you want it to be repetitive. but you see the difference is the end phrase for it. See this part right here? And also, if you wonder how it sounds like that, just like I did with the open hi-hat, I made that box. Want to see, turn down the delay, attack, bring up the hold, decay, sustain, release, all that, bring those down. The only knob you want to have up is the hold knob. That way you can control how long and how short the notes are. So that's how it's sounding so crisp. Especially down here. You can hear that roll. So yeah, like I said, key to hi-hats, want to make them repetitive, but not too repetitive. Switch around some hi-hat rolls, move them here and there. But definitely key, I would say, is to change up the end phrase on both halves. You want it to be different. So yeah, very nice hi-hat pattern. I absolutely love it. And yeah, all right, going into the 808. Just play it for you real quick. All right, real quick before I break down the pattern, turn the trim down all the way. This is specifically for mine because of this end piece right here. It always bothered me, so I just turned down the trim. Out knob is at 13%. I didn't want it too long, didn't want it too short. It's just right. Length turned up to 100%. Now, if you want your 808s to hit, I'm sure many people have told y'all this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. EQ knob, of course, got it at 15%, basically boosting up how booming you want the 808 to sound, I guess you could say. And then, of course, you got this boost knob right here. I like to turn it up just a little bit because it's real sensitive. So I only put it on 2. You don't want it like this. So I got it at 2% and it hits just right with the 808. But you can always play around with it, especially with the beat. When you mix it, yeah, you just play around with it, see how you like it. So also for the 808, of course, you got the box again so I can control the note. Definitely important with 808s because you don't want them to overlap and then, it sounds horrible. So, very simple 808 pattern, very repetitive 808 pattern. What I think stands out with it, especially with the hi-hat, is how I have like this one note right here. These notes right here, the D5 notes, is short, so it's not playing all the way through. You got it's a sudden stop to it. So you got that part right there. Also, the velocity, C is down. It's not with the rest of the notes right here. That definitely gives it more bounce. That way, it won't be. See, that right there sounds bland. You want it to, you literally want it to bounce. So it's like the dynamic, is different. So try that in your beats, definitely, especially in like, simple 808 patterns like this. You don't want to do it in like something where you would go crazy because then, people will actually notice that. So you see right here, like I said, always change up your end phrases. So I brought up the note to C6 right here. This C6 right here, just to switch it up. Same thing right here, sudden stop. Right here, just left it on that F5 note, gave it a bounce, turned the velocity down on that too. So yeah, nothing major, but it definitely plays a big part, especially when you play the whole beat. So like I said, the 808 and the hi-hat were my two main components that stood out in the whole beat. Let me play those two together for you. Now my favorite part of this beat right here is this end phrase right here. Like I said, you want something to stand out in the beat. You want people to to have a reason to say wow, this beat is hard. So if I were listening to this beat, like if I hadn't made this beat, I'll be listening to this part, especially as a producer. I'll be like, this one part right here is different. You see how I have the hi-hat to literally match the 808. So how they both have that sudden stop right here, the boom boom, yeah, and then that roll right there at the end just tops it off perfectly. So yeah, it's just something different, something I think that played a big part in the beat. Yeah, let me play everything again together. So yeah, that's pretty much the beat. You know, it's not nothing crazy, but it's definitely something that will stand out in the beat, especially. Let me play the melody with it too. Shout out to LNK, and then I definitely don't know how to say this other dude's name. You can see it right there though. But yeah. In that end phrase, you see I cut everything out except the hi-hat and 808. I hope I'm explaining everything well. You know, I'm not used to teaching, you know, stuff like this, but hopefully it made sense, especially with you watching it. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's pretty much the video. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe. We got a lot more content on the way. So yeah, just be on the lookout, and yeah, see you on the next one.